On behalf of the Microsoft Corporation Department of Research, I thank you for sitting in on our presentation today. Our agenda for this presentation is an introduction and overview, as well as qualitative and quantitative analysis of the acquisition of LinkedIn, as well as recommendations and conclusions. So first, I'd like to start with a short introduction on Microsoft and LinkedIn. You, as members of the board, know that we acquired LinkedIn for $196 per share, and this is an all-cash transaction. LinkedIn will retain its brand and culture and independence, and Jeff will remain the CEO. Microsoft and LinkedIn hope to use together their assets strategically and create value for our customers. LinkedIn is one of the world's largest and most valued professional networks. This is important because our role as the Microsoft Research Development Department is to provide our board members with a clear understanding of the value proposition of our 1.2 billion users and LinkedIn's 443 million members. There are substantial growth opportunities for both companies. The future of Microsoft LinkedIn is rooted in unifying the professional profile via Outlook, Skype, Office, and other products that we make here, as well as providing insights with data using LinkedIn as an integrated plugin for the Office suite and vice versa.
Starting with the overview, you can see that over the past year, we earned $93 billion in revenue, 1.2 billion Office users, 300 million plus Windows 10 monthly active devices, 70 million plus Office 365 commercial monthly active users, 8 million plus paid dynamic seats, 5 million plus Azure Active Directory organizations. Our annual revenue was split between devices and consumers and commercial. Similarly, LinkedIn also had a lot of members. They had 433 members, 105 plus monthly active users, 7 million plus active job listings, 9 million plus company pages, 50,000 university pages, and 2 million plus paid subscriptions. Their $2.9 billion in revenue was split between talent acquisition, marketing solutions, and premium subscriptions. But this isn't just where the similarities begin. If you look at the connecting the professional world, you can see that the two charts are very similar, all things that professionals like to use and interact with on a daily basis. By doing this acquisition, which we highly recommend, you'll be able to connect the world's leading professional cloud with the professional network. This will allow our consumers to connect more intelligently and to have more productive experiences. Focusing on the industry background, you can see that the technology industry and the social media industry are both highly competitive and dynamic. The technology industry is driven by innovation and consumer demand. Currently, the social media industry is starting to face challenges with non-traditional companies like Microsoft trying to enter the market, and as well as privacy laws that are getting stricter and will affect how they're able to retain information from their consumers. Market leaders in the technology industry not only include Microsoft, but also Apple, Cisco, Intel, HP, and Google. Market leaders in the social media industry include Facebook, Tumblr, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter, and Reddit. So now let's talk about the deal specifics. We highly recommend that Microsoft purchase LinkedIn. This would be an all-cash transaction, $196 per LinkedIn share, which would equate to $26.2 billion, inclusive of LinkedIn's net cash. We will allow LinkedIn to maintain autonomy as they have continued to grow exponentially fast over the past years. LinkedIn shareholders will get the final approval on the deal, and the LinkedIn CEO will remain in office and report directly to the Microsoft CEO. Already, the LinkedIn board has unanimously been in favor of this deal. We have been able to propose a lot of really good reasons why we should do this acquisition, but one stands above the rest. We both have the same mission. As you can see, Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. LinkedIn's mission is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Both of our companies are focused on empowering people and organizations, which leads us to the next section, qualitative reasons why we should do this acquisition.
Hello, I'm going to talk about qualitative analysis, sources of synergy, and what are the benefits for Microsoft and LinkedIn. First of all, I want to talk about synergy. Synergy is the source of benefits and value for shareholders. The creation of synergy is a rational and logical reason for Microsoft acquisition. It is important for Microsoft to understand the qualitative meanings and sources of synergy, because this synergy will create, capture, and sustain all expected outcome. As the Microsoft Research Group, we would like to explore and present the qualitative aspects and the positive impacts of synergy. In order to increase the acquisition success rate, our research team has identified and predicted the intangible long-term benefits of synergy that is in alignment with our business strategies. Okay, let's talk about why most acquisitions fail. Companies spend approximately $2 trillion on acquisitions every year, and the failure rate is between 70 to 90%. Business executives often rely on quantitative financial data and calculations to justify their decisions in mergers and acquisitions. Some acquisitions fail because the calculated predictions have not fully met the expected synergy outcome. Other reasons may include the lack of qualitative research and analysis, or having a wrong decision-making process, or making incorrect quantitative assumptions. Therefore, our research team's qualitative analysis will help you define and clarify synergy that is developing from Microsoft business model in the future world of professional networking. There are many sources of synergy, as you know. Synergy is created to align with the business objectives and the strategic vision of Microsoft. Sources of synergy come from revenue enhancement, cost reduction, tax gains, and reduced capital requirements. Positive market reactions, investors' emotions, or confidence also contribute to the qualitative aspects of synergy. Other factors may include the perceived relationship of risk and the rate of return, and also related to the culture of organizations. As we all know, acquisition requires money. Given the current low interest rate in the United States, Microsoft can borrow massive, cheap money as tax-deductible debt for this acquisition. In other words, this acquisition will provide Microsoft with the most needed software business market penetration power, because the current markets are already very saturated and very competitive. After this acquisition, the latest Microsoft products such as Office Productivity Suite Market Square share will be definitely increased to enhance revenues by stimulating new demands from the global social networking of approximately 433 million LinkedIn users around the world. Also, this acquisition will facilitate technology transfer and network collaboration for Microsoft overall operational efficiency, thus reducing operating costs and capital requirements. LinkedIn users looking for cost-effective operating technology can also take advantage of Microsoft resources of vertical network distribution of new services and products in the long term. Therefore, their shared interests in business operation will help streamline post-merger integration. After the announcement of our intended acquisition in June of 2016, shares of LinkedIn jumped nearly 50%, and a huge premium will be realized. Both companies will be able to share the convenience of cross-functional business software operations and enhanced networking opportunities. This acquisition is not entirely horizontal in nature because both companies serve different customers' needs in the industry. There will be a substantial increased market segmentation for Microsoft and Microsoft new products and services, such as Office 365 Cloud Business, because the acquisition will provide a new and realistic value network and marketing channel system to those 1.2 billion Office users and beyond. Users of both companies can benefit from this new integrated market offering an improved network of business recruitment, social relationships, and networking. Because Microsoft allowed LinkedIn senior management maintain the organizational control on the branding, business transparency, identity, and culture to minimize disruptions to their existing business operations and employees' morale, we are confident that Microsoft will create the right quality of synergy that will cooperate, connect, transform, and integrate the current business model of software industry and professional networking as a whole. Thank you.
I'm going to take you through the quantitative section of the presentation. As the research group of Microsoft, I would like to present some of the key financial numbers of the proposed acquisition of LinkedIn by Microsoft. We have proposed that Microsoft pays $196 a share to LinkedIn. With 133 million LinkedIn shares outstanding, the total value of the transaction would be around $26.2 billion, which is about 91 times of the LinkedIn EBIT reported in 2015. Moving on to the next slide. I would now like to quickly go over the high-level assumptions that we have made when calculating the value proposition of this deal. We have assumed that Microsoft's expected annual earnings growth for the next 5 years would be 7.35%. And we have used the data provided by the NASDAQ analysts for this calculation. LinkedIn earnings growth is expected to be 27.07% for the next 5 years, being a growth oriented company. Then, when we have combined the two based on the projected revenue synergy, we expect Microsoft to grow at 10% per year post merger for the next 5 years. With these assumptions in mind, let's move on to the next slide to discuss how we have calculated some of the merger values. The process we followed in the calculation is the discounted cash flow method to determine the post-merger value of Microsoft. The calculation details have been provided in the final project paper that we have submitted. We have used a discount rate of 9.21% using the weighted average cost of capital formula that we have learned in the course. The post-merger value of Microsoft is calculated to be $489 billion, and the post-merger stock price has been calculated to be $62.29 per share. This equates to a 21% growth in market cap post-merger for Microsoft, which completely resonates with the qualitative aspect of the proposed deal, and which is to basically bolster Microsoft's revenue and competitive position in the market. It's really a proposal of marriage between a professional cloud provider and a professional network provider. The next slide summarizes the value proposition of the deal. As we can see on the slide, the value of Microsoft before the acquisition was at $405 billion, and post-merger value has been calculated to be $489 billion, which is a significant increase in the market cap. Since this deal proposes all-cash transaction, the number of Microsoft shares outstanding in the market would remain the same, and that is 7.8 billion. But the stock price would shoot up to be $62.29 per share as compared to $51.48 per share before the merger. We also calculated the synergy value of the merger based on what we learned throughout the semester, and the synergy value is calculated to be $94 billion. And the NPV of the proposed merger has been calculated to be about $85 billion. Based on these numbers, we definitely propose that Microsoft should move forward with this proposed acquisition of LinkedIn.
In conclusion, we'd like to thank you, board members, today for listening to our presentation about the qualitative and quantitative analysis and benefits of the acquisition of LinkedIn. We hope that you all leave here understanding the value added with the acquisition of LinkedIn. We hope that you all understand that the Windows applications will be made available to the LinkedIn platform, and LinkedIn will in return, provide a very dynamic extension of social offerings for our products and cloud-based services. We hope that